Hi, in this video, we will review Strong. This is the first SSR SR review as I plan to review each and other SSR and SR in the game. I will start first with the dwellers that I am already using. We will discuss his ability, stats, equipment, attachments, and lastly, his pros and cons. Before we get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us start with abilities. His skill is called Charge. As the name implies, he charges towards the enemy, dealing damage to all enemies. I am sure that by now you guys know what it looks like, but later in the pros and cons section, I will give more details about this. Now let's talk about perks. Strong has 3 perks: Stubbornness, Attack Absorb, and Fortitude. And in my opinion, only Fortitude is useful to Strong, and I'll tell you why. Stubbornness gives you an increased damage if your HP is lower than 50%. I don't think this is useful for a tank, considering that you don't rely too much on the tank's damage because you are more you need HP, dodge, the defense and resistance for a tank, not damage. Attack absorb, it says here recover HP, percentage of your HP based on the max HP after taking hit. This might sound good, but I think this is really low considering the amount of max HP Strong has. Like in my case, I'm gonna show you quickly here. His HP is 100k, around 100k. So if you take into account this perk, 0.3% is like 300 plus 687. So roughly you get um, 1000 HP after being hit. So that's just 1%. And his last perk here is Fortitude, which is increased max HP by 19,364. And as of right now, this constitutes to around 19% of my total HP for Strong, which is quite significant. So that's why I said that for me, I think this is the only useful perk for Strong. But then again, you still have to level them up as you progress, right? But if you are to prioritize or if you want to maximize your water, just go with Fortitude first and then the others as your secondary perk when you are trying to decide which ones to level up. Now, we're also gonna look at his traits. So he is a super mutant. So this is an advantage for him. He is immune to damage, radiation minus 50%. So I'll have this later in my pros. He uses physical attack and of course close combat because he's a tank. And then lastly, for his bond, he is a soul survivor. Being a sole survivor, it gives if you have a bond with someone, the 2 out of 5 bond will trigger 15% damage to ghouls, additional damage to ghouls. I'll still go for other bond because I don't see much enemies in this game that are ghouls. So yeah, but if you're interested and you plan to have a 5 man companion with this soul survivor bond, here are the dwellers that you can go after. If you are to build a team, you can go with strong as your tank, and then mother for your attacker, and then you can have alien if you want to have 2 attackers, and then this is the only you can go with Curie as your healer. And then for your, you can also build a lineup around Piper with Piper as your healer. I mean, her skill to be used as a heal, but I'll still, if you're using strong, I'll still have you go after a real healer, which is Curie. Alright, now we go to his stats. Now looking at his special, he has a high endurance. Oops, sorry, not this one. Okay, this one. So he has a high endurance, which means that he has a very high HP, which makes him a good tank. My current HP for strong is, as you can see, 101,000, which is significantly, which I can significantly improve if I have attachments with additional HP attribute. Unfortunately, right now I only have two attachments that gives out additional HP. I will discuss later in the attachment section the attributes that you'll go after. We'll now go to the equipments. So for this one, of course, you will have to upgrade everything. But if you are short in supplies and in caps, you should definitely prioritize the armor because it gives you additional HP, def, resistance, dodge. But primarily, you're after HP. And since he is a tank, then you'll definitely go for um, the armor. And then followed by the skill and the weapon. Now let's talk about attachments. We will discuss four attachments for strong. Minuteman Last Stand or MLS, Overseer's Initiative, Guardian Armor, and Last Resistance. This is my order of preference, having the MLS as the least preferred and Last Resistance as my most preferred. For MLS, this is what I equipped him on the first few days of the game because when you start the game, you can easily get these attachments from doing incidents. The orange attachment for this is being dropped in the master incident as well. However, please take note that when I tested this out, the increase in AP is only 14%, so I felt that this is not significant enough. The link for the test is in the description down below in case you're interested. The next one is Overseer's Initiative. A lot of people might prefer or might have this as their most preferred attachment. That is if you are more into PvP. So yeah, if you are more into PvP, then this is the one for you. This attachment will let Strong use his skill as soon as the battle starts, which can be a game changer. However, if you are more into PvE, then you can skip this one because the set effect gets triggered only once per incident. It will be triggered on your first battle for a particular incident. Up next is the Guardian Armor. This is what I am currently using now. I like this one because it is useful in both PvP and PvE. Also, when you are in a BOS or Brotherhood of Steel guild, you can easily get full orange set for this on a weekly basis, especially if your guild is in the top 5 of the server. Another advantage of having this is that Strong's charge has a high cast time which can easily be cancelled by Kate, Nick, or any other enemy that can interrupt his casting. Lastly, we go to Last Resistance. This is my most preferred attachment for Strong. However, I don't have the orange attachments yet for this. What I like about this is that you get immunity when your HP falls below 30% for 5 seconds. For a tank like Strong that has a high HP, 30% HP is still significant. Like right now, Strong has 100k HP and 30% is 30k, which is quite a lot. There is a good chance that he'll survive and he'll be healed in that 5-second immunity window. As for the attributes in your attachments, I would go for the following in terms of prioritization. HP being on the top of the list because this is what we're trying to build Strong into, to have a high HP for him to be effective as a tank. So HP is being on the top of the list, followed by resistance and defense. They can you can interchange them either way, and then dodge, attack, and then lastly crit. Now let's go to the pros and cons. For the first advantage, his skill is really good at disrupting the enemy. Here's a short clip to show you what I'm talking about. Notice how he charges and makes the enemy face the other direction. In this case, the enemy hits strong instead of randomly hitting the other dwellers which could have killed them. Same case might be applicable when you are battling against Desdemona. So instead of her using the skill to inflict damage to all team members, if Desdemona is facing strong, then only strong on the other direction, then Desdemona will only hit strong instead of hitting all your team members. This is also something that can help you when you are battling with those enemies that have AoE skills because if you're a healer or if you're using two tanks, if they're close with strong and strong gets hit by the AoE skill, if strong is there after he charged the enemy, he'll be the only one to get the AoE damage instead of inflicting damage to all your other dwellers besides strong, like the healer and the other tank. Now we talk about the disadvantage. So the first one that I have here is his long cast time. It takes him time to cast his charge. You'll see the animation where he drinks the milk. And the downside with this one is that Kate, Nick, and other dwellers or enemies can easily counter this. However, there is a workaround for this, and that is by using Guardian Armor attachments. Now we add another advantage, and this is something that I've mentioned earlier already. It's his trait being a super mutant. Since he is a super mutant, he has 50% more resistance to radiation. So for the strong users out there, you'll notice that he doesn't get that much radiation compared to your other dwellers. And then another disadvantage for me, again, something that I've already discussed earlier, is that for the perks, I think out of the three perks that he has, only one is useful. And then lastly, for the last advantage that I have here on my list is that strong is F2P friendly. You can easily farm his posters, or you can easily get this dweller and rank him up by buying his poster in the PvP store. So there you have it. All the things I've talked about here are based on my experience with Strong since I was lucky enough to get him on the second day of this server. Let me know if you think I missed something, and we can have a healthy discussion in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!